Hi, I'm Veronica and welcome to Jersey City Pilates. For today's class, you are going to need, the only thing you actually need is a dish towel. We're going to be using it, so make sure it's more or less long enough. You can have your arms overhead and still hold on to it. And then if you would like a pillow or a block or something to sit on, you can grab that as well and we will get started. So just come to sit. If you're sitting up on something, just make sure you're slightly towards the front of it so that it's not holding up your legs, and try to let your legs just release towards the floor. And for me, it's helpful to literally just press down gently on my thighs and kind of sweep away. And then to start, just let your arms float up overhead and then pull your elbows wide and just see if you have tightness through the sides of your neck, the front of your neck. You're gonna bring your elbows towards one another and just see how that feels through your back, and then open up, keeping your collarbone nice and broad. And again, just noticing how that feels. Maybe you have tightness in your lats. Just good to take in. And then lower your arms and grab onto your towel if you're gonna use one. Just fold it nice and long so that you can comfortably hold onto it. And then start with your hands out in front of your knees. And you're just gonna round down, reach the towel forward, and then think about gently pulling it away, finding a little bit of separation between the shoulder blades from your spine, and then just stack yourself back up nice and tall. And then again, give that towel a little pull, find that engagement and pull of the shoulder blades away from one another as you round forward, and slowly peel yourself all the way up. And just one more like that. Give a little tug on the towel as you round down. And now you're just gonna float your arms in front of your shoulders, and then just pull back. Feel your shoulder blades slide towards one another. The towel is chest tight, and then slowly open the elbows back out. And again, pull and bring the towel in, or your arms if you're not using the towel, and back out. One more time. Again, shoulder blades slide in and extend. And now we're gonna bring the towel up. Have it still within your periphery, and think about lengthening the crown of your head so tall that it's gonna touch the towel. Bend your elbows out to the side and then extend them up. So think about the distance and space from your shoulders and your ears is remaining constant. And you're just opening and closing from the elbows rather than the shoulders. One more. Pause with your arms lifted, and then side bend up and over towards the right. Pull a little bit harder on the towel on the right side, let your head fall, and then pull on the left, bring yourself all the way up. And then up and over towards the left side. Try and relax your legs. And back up. 2 more times to each side, over to the right. And back up. And to the left. And back up. Last one over to the right. Let those shoulders just relax as much as they can. Trying to keep as little tension in them as possible. Back up. Over to the left. And then come all the way up and lower your arms down. You're gonna move your towel out to the side. If you're sitting on something, that can also come out of the way. And you're gonna come onto all fours. Having your knees underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips, and your hands underneath your shoulders. You can bring them a little bit wider than your shoulders if that helps you find a better base of support. And then think about lengthening the crown of the head and the sit bones away from one another. Feet are gently pressing down into the floor. Tuck the tailbone under, round the spine up towards the ceiling. And just let your head shake out. Shake it yes and no, or left and right. Any of the above. And then find length as you come into a little extension. Think about lengthening through your arms. So the collarbone is reaching forward, and then tuck the tailbone under, round the spine back up. And back out. And then round up. And back out. One more time like this. Breathing as you go, making sure you're not hyperextending through the elbows, and then find a nice neutral spine. And then from here, you're going to keep your pelvis not completely still, but fairly still. And you're going to think about rounding through the upper back and then reaching your ribs to the right, down towards the floor, and over to the left. So you're doing like almost a little barrel roll. It's a tiny movement with your ribs, but you're just trying to shift through the rib cage. One more time over to the right. And then to the left. So up and over to the left, down to the center, and then back around. You can think that you're in a little tube. You're trying to touch every inch of the inside of that tube. Keep reaching the tailbone back. Head is forward. One more. And then square yourself off to the front. So from here, you are going to bring your right hand behind your head and press your head into your hands so that you're not just shoving your head forward towards the floor. And then you're going to press into that left arm, open up. And then you're going to touch your elbow towards your wrist on that left side and then open back up. And back down, reaching towards that left arm, getting a little stretch, and then we're reaching back up. And make sure you're taking your abdominals with you so you're not collapsing towards the floor. And open. Last one like this. Good. And then pause yourself here. And you're going to extend your left leg back behind you. You're going to float the left leg up, keeping your right hand behind your head, and then tap that leg down. And then float it back up. Obviously, if you need to put your hand down at any point to readjust, or you need the extra support, go for it. And keep lifting through that left leg for 4, 3, 2, 1. I was going to say left. Round your spine, reach your knee towards your elbow. They do not need to touch. And then extend long. And then round and reach it under you. And extend. Good, really press through that left arm, rounding your whole spine, not just your upper spine, as best you can. Woo. Balance is hard today. And extend. 3 more. And out. 2. And last one. And extend here. Bring that left leg underneath you. Bring your right hand down for just a moment. Extend your right leg out back behind you. And now you're going to bring your left foot out slightly to the side. Internally rotate a little bit on that left thigh. And then you're going to reach your right arm up towards the ceiling. And then from here, bring that hand behind your head. You're going to lift your your right leg up. And you're going to twist and rotate down towards the floor. And then open back up. Twist and rotate towards the floor. And open. You can think like you're resting that right leg on like a little table or couch or ottoman or whatever. It's more or less staying at the same height. You're just rotating through the pelvis. Around that left femur. And back up, opening up. 2 more. And last one with the hips. Good. And then here, you're just going to rotate the upper spine. Hip is going to stay open. And back up. And rotate just the upper spine. And open. 6 more. If this is too much, you can touch that hand to the ground and then bring it back up to your shoulder. And touch it down. And lift. 4 more. I can't count. Last one. Good. And now reach your arm and leg overhead. Take a nice stretch. That right foot is now on the floor. And then round yourself all the way down. Bring your knees underneath you. And then tuck the spine up towards the ceiling. Sitting bones reach down towards the floor. And then find a little extension. And we're going to trade sides. Spin around. So, starting with your knees under your hips again. Right hand can be slightly out wide for that extra support. Left hand comes behind the head. Reach up and open towards the left, and then round and rotate down. And then reach it up and rotate down. Good. A few more here, moving at your own pace. Even though you're twisting, you want to think that you're still keeping that length in your spine. So keep reaching the crown of your head and your sitting bones and tailbone away from one another. 3 more. 2. And last one. Good. Square yourself off. Give your wrists a break for a second if you need. And then you're going to extend your right leg back behind you. Float it up. Hand is still behind your head. Lift up. Again, but if you need, put it down. Make sure your head is lifted and in line with your spine. Reaching that right leg long as you extend, opening through the hip. Your elbow should be in your periphery on the left side, and the right elbow is nice and soft. 2 more. Last one. Bend and bring it in underneath you, and extend. Bend it, and extend. Rounding through the whole spine, and reach. I feel like I'm inside of a sound machine. We got the nice chill hop, and then the wind and the rain outside, and my dryer running. It's like all 3 modes of our sound machine. 2 more. Last one. And extend, and then lower the hand, lower the leg. Now you're going to extend the left leg back behind you. Internally rotate that right thigh just a bit, and then open up towards towards the left. Direction is very hard to take. Lift that left leg up, bring your hand behind your head. You're gonna rotate your hips down, and then rotate your pelvis open. Rotate it down, and open. 6 more. And up. Make sure that your torso is leading and your elbow is just following, rather than moving just through that elbow. Really close the chest towards the floor, and then open the chest towards the wall in front of you. And back down, and up. Last one. And up. Stay open through the hips rather, and then just the torso reaches forward and opens. And down, and open. Good. 6 more. Again, really important here, focusing on the torso, what it's doing, rather than the shoulder. And up. 2. Last one. And then reach that leg down, reach the hand overhead. Really press through the floor with that right hand, get a nice stretch. And then come all the way down. We're gonna do just 1 T-spine stretch, like more of a static one to each side. So bring your right hand behind your head, lift up and open towards that right side, and then reach the arm underneath the little thread, the needle. You can bring your left arm out overhead. Relax the shoulders and just breathe here. Reach the hips back. If you would like, you can press into the floor with that right arm. Think about reaching forward. 1 more breath. And then slide that left hand in, press yourself back up, and then this time reach your arm open to the right, and then bring that arm down. Hand behind the left arm. No, behind your head. Reach up and open. Don't know why I can't speak. And then Reach down, reach that left arm long, extend the right arm overhead. Again, you can press down into the floor. Try to keep rotating yourself open towards that right side. Take a few more breaths here. 2 more. Reach those hips back, last breath. Slide the right hand in. Reach the left arm up towards the ceiling, and then bring it all the way down. Good. Here you can come up onto your knees. Tuck the tailbone under so that your hips are nice and connected to the front of your ribs. And then think like you're stuck between 2 panes of glass, and you're just gonna hinge back. And then from here, really press down through the feet, the shins into the floor, and then come all the way back up. Arms can come out in front of you, and you're gonna hinge back and come up. Think like you have a little, oh my God, from the Flintstones, the little girl. Like a little ponytail on top of your head, and someone's pulling you up tall as you come up. You may feel this obviously as a stretch in the front of your thighs, but if you keep pressing down a little bit more through the shins, you may feel slightly more into your glutes. 2 more just like this. Last one. Come all the way out. And then here you're gonna pull your left arm back, look over your elbow and rotate, and then come forward. We're gonna stay on that left side for 5. Think about rotating and reaching forward with that right arm. Shoulder is just in line or below, or rather elbow just in line or below that shoulder. 2. Last one, come forward, over to the right. Pull back with that right arm and come forward. Twist it and rotate. The hips are staying square. This is just through the upper body. 2. Last one. Good, and then from here, we're gonna pull both arms back and then reach forward. So we're making this a little bit more challenging as the weight comes higher up our bodies. 2 more. And last one. And come forward and then let your arms come all the way down. Sit down onto your heels and just side bend over to that left side. And side bend over to the right. All right. From here, we are going to come onto our sides. And if you have a wall close to you, go ahead and you can move towards the wall. I planned this class at 3 o'clock in the morning last night, so my email was not ready for what you needed. My apologies. So if you have a wall near you, you're gonna put your feet up against the wall just as mine are. 90-degree bend in the ankle, 90-degree bend in the knee, and 90-degree bend in the hip. And then you're just gonna come to lay down on your side. And adjust however you need. And if you don't have a wall, you can do this. Just make sure your feet are stacked together and then that you are still in that 90-90-90 position. From here, with your feet pressing into the wall, you are going to take your left hand behind your head. You're gonna press your feet down into the wall and then think about your sitting bones reaching slightly under, like you're gonna reach your sitting bones through your knees towards the wall in front of you. And then you're just gonna rotate open towards the ceiling. Your hips are staying stacked. You're pressing into that floor, into the wall rather, which will help keep you nice and square. And then come back into your neutral spine position. And then again, open up. I have both hands behind my head, but you can be on your bicep if that's more comfortable. And then come forward. 2 more. Just notice if maybe you feel like you have more mobility here than you did in some of the other positioning rotations. And then come back to the center. Good. From here, you can bring your left arm down to the floor, or you can have it on your hip, your choice. Either way, You're going to think about reaching that left hip forward ever so slightly so that the knee is over the right knee. And then you're going to keep your foot on the wall and then just roll to the outside edge of your foot. Keep pressing down and then come back to center. So you're just doing a clamshell here as you rotate out and open. You're slightly tucked under in the pelvis. Trying to get those low abs maybe. Working a little here, the glutes, the hamstrings. Really pressing into the wall as you lift. And if not, you're just doing a normal clamshell. But think about pressing your foot in the outer edge of your foot into the bottom foot as you are opening up. We have 2 more. And last one. Good. Square your leg off and then drop your knee for a second. Let your glute release. And then you're going to pick that knee up and then check in. My top hip slid back, so my knee is no longer over my right knee. Square that off. And then from here, you're just going to pick that leg up off of the wall and then place it back down on the wall. And then pick it up and place it down. Keep pressing into the wall as you lower the leg, but think that you're still pressing, almost creating that resistance as you lift it off. And I'm maybe coming off the wall 2 inches. So super small movement here. 3 more. Keep pressing into the wall with that bottom leg. Bottom leg is also pressing into the floor. Last one. Good. Square the feet. Press down into both feet like you're going to shoot yourself forward for 5, 4. Keep breathing. Knees stay stacked. 3, 2, and last one. Relax that leg down. Good. Shake your hips out. And then you're going to come onto the other side. So spin around. Your right foot will now be the top foot. You want 90, 90, 90. Your foot is about the same height as your knees. And then once you have that settled, you're going to come down again onto your side. Lift that top leg. Keep pressing into the wall. And then think about a gentle tuck of your tailbone to help slide that right knee forward now. Hands behind your head. And you're just going to gently rotate open, keeping the hips forward, square in front of you. That right knee stays reaching towards the wall in front, and then come back center. 3 more. And again, the reason we have our hand behind our head is just so that we're not leading with our shoulder and we're actually rotating through the upper spine. Last one. You can hold this one. Check in with that right knee as you go down. Make sure it's still reaching forward. Your glute should be working relatively hard here. Mine certainly is. And then come back to the center. You can use that right hand as a kickstand. And then you're just going to press your bottom leg into the floor and wall at the same time. Right foot into the wall. And then open up into your clamshell. The edge of that left foot, or rather the outside edge of your right foot, is pressing into the wall. You may notice your left foot starts to kind of disconnect from the wall. It'll keep pressing. You can also lift your head if that's more comfortable. Do whatever works for you. 3 more. Back down 2. And last one. Good. And then let that leg relax down. Let your glute release for a second here. And then when you're ready, you're going to bring that knee hip height again. Press both legs into the wall. Again, make sure you're slightly rounded through the lower body. And then reach that right hip forward. And then you're just going to float that leg off the wall. Keep pressing into the wall with your left leg. Tap it down, press, and then keep thinking about that tension remaining and release. And back in. And release. And back in. Keep thinking about reaching that right knee forward as you lift for 2. Last one. And lower all the way back to the wall. press into the wall and hold. Reach that knee forward, both legs pressing down towards the floor, feet into the wall for 5, 4, tuck the tailbone slightly, 3, 2, and last one, release. Good, and now you're gonna roll over onto your backs. You can grab your towel again if you have one. Make sure your head is flat on the floor. And then just take a second, lift your head up, and then think about nodding your chin gently, and then just placing your head on the ground. So you really have that length through the neck. And then grab onto your towel. Make sure your necklaces, if you're wearing them, aren't strangling you. And then extend your arms up towards the ceiling. Make sure that you don't have a bend in your wrists. You want to reach your knuckles or fingertips, either way, up towards the ceiling. And also make sure you're not pressing into the towel to grip it with your fingertips. You may find that if you squeeze your fingertips, your pecs, or rather your thumbs and your pecs. So think just a gentle hold, and when you are giving it a little squeeze, you're using your whole hand and not just your fingers or your thumbs. So from here, you're gonna give the towel a gentle tug out to the side. Think about creating space in the front of your chest and across your back. And then you're just gonna float the arms overhead. Not doing anything with the torso or the legs here, and then reach it back up. And then again, float it overhead. Just breathing, checking in on your ribs, your abs, your hips. Do they want to move? Do your ribs wanna lift? Or are you able to maybe slightly increase your range of motion every 1 or 2 without your torso really changing or wanting to move in resistance. 2 more. Make sure you're breathing. And last one. And then lift up. Good. From here, pull that towel apart. You're going to bend your elbows wide to the side. Find that space across the front of your chest with the pull of the towel, and then extend your arms up towards the ceiling. And then again, pull in, elbows wide, and keep them reaching wide even as you extend the arms and they straighten. Good. Pull and reach down. And up. Last one. And extend the arms straight up in front of you. Have your feet relatively close to your butt. Tuck the tailbone under. Find that curl of the low back. And press your feet down into the floor and start to peel yourself off one vertebrae at a time. Shoulder blades stay on the floor. Once you're lifted, you're going to find a little neutral, and then you're just going to drop your hips down. Let them just graze the ground, and then reach them straight back up. Think that your hip is, or rather your femurs are the lever to lift your pelvis. Reach the knees forward as you lift, planting the feet straight down through the floor, and lift. 5 more like this. Nice and slow. 3, 2, and last one, pause with the hips up. Lower the hips, let the arms fall overhead, and then lift up. So your range of motion with the arms is as big as is comfortable. You shouldn't feel any pinching in your shoulders. If you do, you are going probably too far back. And overhead. And lift. If this is too much, just drop the towel and place your arms by your side. And down. 2 more. Pause the top. Lower the hips, lower the arms, and then reach everything up. Lower the hips and arms, and reach. Still keeping that integrity through the arms, reaching the elbows, nice and wide, and that space through the chest, even though you've made this a lot more complicated by getting the hips involved. 2 more. Last one. Pause with the hips and the arms at the top. Reach your right heel off the floor, and then float that right leg into tabletop. You're going to reach your knee in and reach your towel towards the shin, and then extend the arm, extend the legs. Reach it in and back out. So you're coming past 90 degrees with both the bend of the knee and the reach of the arms, and then overhead. 4 more. Keeping the pelvis nice and still. 3, 2, and last one. Get arms in line with the shoulder and then lower all the way down. Lift the heel up on that left leg and then float the left leg up to tabletop. Reach the shin towards the arms and then extend. And bend it in. And extend and bend in. Check in with your shoulders as well as your hips. You don't want all the weight in that left shoulder. You want it even between the right and left side. For 6, 5, check in with your wrists too, make sure that they're not bent, hips are nice and square. 3, 2, and last one. Lower the leg all the way down. Reach the arms up overhead, press the hips up, and then think that you're now holding on to something overhead that is fixed. Tuck the tailbone under, and then peel yourself all the way down. Keep reaching the arms overhead, trying to create a little bit of extra space. And then lower the arms down towards the floor if that's comfortable. Release the towel, and then bring your arms to a scarecrow position. And then from here, scarecrow, cactus, whatever you want to call it, you are going to draw your right leg into tabletop. Your left leg's going to come up to meet it. Glue your legs together like you just have one very large leg, and then let your legs come over to the right. Left hip will lift. Press down into the floor with your arms, and then square yourself back to the center. And think about wringing out your spine. Lots of twisting today. And to the center. And over to the right. Your shoulders stay on the ground so you're not twisting that much, but enough that your obliques are like, oh hey, I have to do some work to get this hip back on the ground. And up and over, falling to the right, and back down, and to the left. Once more to each side. Last one. Good, and then from here, just bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little rock from one side to the other, and then place your legs down onto the floor. Bring your hands back to that cactus position. And let your legs fall over to the left. Take a breath or two here, finding a little stretch. Last one. Bring them up to the center and then let them fall over to the right. Again, take a few breaths. Try to release a little bit more into the floor. And then you're going to come over onto one side, doesn't matter what side, and you're going to press yourself up. You're going to sit up on something if you like. If not, you're just sitting on the floor. Either way, your legs are outspread in front of you, and they're slightly wider than your hips. And then you want to move any of the fleshiness of your butt out of the way so that you can really feel your sitting bones reaching down towards the floor. Knees are bent if needed. And stack your spine up nice and tall. Knees are nice and bent, spine stacked up tall, hands behind your head. Twist and rotate over to the right. And then come back to the center, to the left. And center, over to the right. Center, left. One more to each side. And then we're going to do saw. And to the left. Hands out to the side. Twist and rotate towards the right. Reach your left arm over the pinky side of your right foot. Reach back with the right arm. Come up tall to the right, to the center, over to the left. Reach back soft, your pinky toe on the left. Uncurl your spine. Rotate back to the center. 2 more to each side. Twist and rotate to the right. Lift that your back hand up, pinky side up. Uncurl, back to the center. To the left. Reach. Again, you're lifting that back arm, finding space. To the center. Right. Soft the pinky. Lift. Center, last one. We may have made it through the coughing. All right. Back to the center. And relax your legs or arms down. Take your support out from underneath you. And you're going to come into all fours. You can do this on your knees or on your hands, your choice, or a combo of both, of course. You are going to find yourself in a nice plank. So, find the space between your sitting bones and they're a little wide. You're in a nice neutral pelvis. Crown of your head is reaching away from your tailbone. Reach your right leg back. Reach your left leg back. You're going to do 1 push-up, lowering your whole body at the same rate, elbows close to your body. Press up, twist and rotate to the right. Come back to the center. You're going to do a push-up. Twist and rotate, open up to the left. You can stack your feet or you can keep them staggered one in front of the other, your choice. If you're on your knees, you're doing the same thing. Lower down into that push-up, lift and rotate open to the right. You can extend that top leg or just be on your knees, your choice. Back to the center, down for the push-up, and open up to the left. Good. Press down, open and lift. Your range on your push-up can be nice and small. Do whatever feels comfortably challenging for you. We have 4 more of that. And open. 3. 2 more. 1 more side plank to each side. And open. And last one. We're gonna end with 1 push-up in the center. And then come back into a down dog. Reach your hips up towards the ceiling. Keep your knees nice and bent. And then lower one heel and then the other. Stretching through the calves. Your left leg's gonna lower. Lift both knees. Send them nice and wide. And sit back into a child's pose. Reach your hands forward. Let your head relax to the floor. Take a few deep breaths here. Send your right arm over your left. Open up towards the right a little bit. Your head can rest on your left bicep. And then rotate your torso back to the center and really reach long through the right hand, left, right sitting bone. Getting a stretch to the whole right side. And then come through and over to the right, left hand on top of the right hand, and then twist yourself open ever so slightly. And then keep reaching long through that left side to get your side stretch with your chest parallel to the floor. Back to the center, 1 last breath here. Really think about finding width through your rib cage. Breathing wide to the sides, and then also letting it release and lift up back behind you, so it's not just, a front and east-west kind of motion. It's really opening in 360 degrees. And then slowly walk yourself back up. And you can come to sit on your knees or on your butt, whichever you prefer. 1 last side bend over to the right. Keep rooting down with the left sitting bone. And then over to the other side. And then round forward, round over to the right a little. And then back to the left. Come to the center and then slowly peel yourself up all the way, one vertebrae at a time. Reach your arms long to the side. Externally rotate them, let your shoulders drop, and then press down and grow nice and tall like your corkscrew. And your arms can fall by your sides, and you're all finished. Thanks.